Hi there, I'm Amber Goodenough, wellness coach and yoga teacher. I'm so glad you've joined me today for this morning yoga practice. It's going to be a gentle practice where you go at your own pace, and I'll offer lots of different variations. And if you're ready, we'll go ahead and begin. You can find a seat on your mat and we'll get started. Seat and just kind of relax, take a couple deep breaths, let the shoulders relax down away from the ears. Couple of nice deep breaths in and out so that we can just arrive here on our mat. And each time you exhale, the shoulders relax a little more. If it feels good, the eyes are closed. And we're just coming back into the body and taking a moment to notice, how are you doing in this moment? Maybe you woke up feeling a certain kind of way. Maybe you're like me and you woke up stiff and a little achy. Or maybe you woke up with a lot on your mind. So just take a moment to notice, is that still there? Where are you at in this moment? And there's no right or wrong. And take a couple more deep cleansing breaths. And just noticing the swirl of thoughts as they try to grab your attention. Just notice. And let's do one more deep cleansing breath in, side out, open mouth. Coming into the present moment on your mat. And then we'll take the arms up nice and wide overhead, deep breath in. And exhale, draw the hands together down to the heart. Again, deep breath, inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands into heart. Release the hands down to the knees. I'm just going to start to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and then around to the back, down and forward again. So just making some nice big circles with the shoulders. Maybe the eyes stay closed if that feels good. And we're just kind of feeling into the shoulders. Let's go the opposite direction. Moving the shoulders up towards the ears, forward and down. And one more. We're going to take the arms nice and wide. And here we're pressing the heart forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let's lift the chin. So it's a little bit of a cat-cow movement. Nice and wide, waking up everything in the upper body. And then we're going to draw the hands towards each other and then grab opposite shoulders. And then here we're going to round the back, tuck the chin, and start to kind of curl up into a ball. So now we're letting the shoulder blades really spread. So you're kind of hanging that upper body. So the shoulder blades can come apart. And let's do that again. Inhale, reach the arms wide. Squeeze the shoulder blades, look up. And as you exhale, bring the hands back again. This time we'll do the opposite hand on top. And again, curling the spine, tuck the chin. Let everything hang. Inhale, reach up, reach the arms wide. And exhale, let the hands fall at the sides. So we're gonna walk the left fingertips out away from you without leaning over. So just as far as they'll go. And then your head's gonna lean away from your arm. So your head will be, the ear comes towards the right shoulder. If you like to here, you can definitely add that right arm to deepen the stretch. And we're breathing nice and deep here. As you exhale, release any tension that's been held in the neck, as if you could blow it out. And turning the chin towards the shoulder. So now we're getting this back side of the neck. One breath here. Release the top hand. Swing the chin down slowly, slowly to the center of the chest. Let the head hang. So we're letting the head hang here, and we're breathing nice and deep. Noticing. We're going to try the other side. So swinging the head over so that the left ear comes towards the left shoulder, right fingertips walk out away from you, and maybe the left hand comes up to deepen the stretch. Deep breath in, and blow out any tension. One more time. And breathe it out. And turning the chin towards the shoulder, stretching this back side of the neck. One breath here. Breathe it out. Release the hand, bring the head back. Now slowly, slowly to the center of the chest. One breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and lift the gaze. From here, taking one hand across, doesn't matter which way you go first, grabbing onto the knee, the other hand behind, and we're twisting. And see if you can start to twist from the rib cage rather than the low back. Turning the head as far as it will go comfortably behind you. And you can kind of push that hand into the knee to get a little deeper into your twist. Breathe. And gently unwind. And let's go right into the other side. Twisting, gazing behind you. Find your breath. See if you can rotate from the rib cage. And gently unwind, come all the way back around. From here, we're gonna take the legs nice and wide. And it doesn't have to be crazy splits or anything, but just a comfortable wide distance. And we're just gonna start to slide down one side of the leg. Feet can be relaxed and come up into the other side. And we're just kind of waking up the hips, waking up the sides of the body, and waking up the digestion. Back and forth a few times. See if you can move with your breath. So maybe you inhale as you come up, exhale, slide down the leg. Again, you can still have your eyes closed here if that feels good. And let's come all the way up. We're gonna take the left hand down the leg. The right arm's gonna reach up, and then we're gonna hinge over to the side. So now notice if you have this shoulder sort of coming forward so you can get deeper into this pose, and see if you can instead rotate the rib cage so that that shoulder is kind of facing up. And another way to help us do that is to bring the hand behind the head, and that helps us to kind of rotate. That elbow reaches back and the heart reaches up. And then let's go ahead and bring that elbow forward towards the knee. So a little twist. And then bring it all the way back up. Take the gaze up. Reach through the arm, maybe come a little lower. And come all the way up. Let's do the other side. So we're going to slide the right hand down. Left arm reaches up. And again, notice if that shoulder wants to come forward. See if you can almost bring that shoulder back. Bring the hand behind the head, rotate that heart open towards the sky. Breath here. Bring the elbow towards the knee. Doesn't matter if it comes all the way down or not. And then bring the elbow back up, rotate, reach to the fingers, maybe come a little lower, and come all the way up. Now we're gonna take it forward. So walking the hands slowly forward. And this might be where you stay. Maybe you come down to the forearms. Maybe you tuck the chin here, let the head hang. One more breath here, come a little deeper. And carefully walking yourself back up. So from here, we're gonna take this left leg, you're gonna bend the knee and bend the ankle so that you have kind of this 90-degree angle. And then your back leg is gonna do the same thing. So you have a 90-degree angle with this back leg, flexing the foot on both feet. So you have this kind of, like if I could get up, it looks like this, but you're on your side, yeah? So from here, we're going to switch to the other side. Now we'll try it really nice and slow first, and then we'll move a little faster. So we're gonna have your hands behind. You're gonna come up onto the heels. So both knees come forward and then rotate to the other side. Maybe you need to do some adjustments here. And then kind of turning that hip forward so we get a nice stretch through here. And let's try that again. Back nice and slow and switching to the other side. And so we're going to do that a couple times back and forth to each side. So that would be the version 1. If you want to challenge yourself, maybe you try it without hands. Ooh, that's a whole different thing. So we're moving back and forth here. This is a really nice stretch that gets deep into the hips. And let's do that one more time each side. And come to a stop. Go ahead and bring the hands behind. Come up onto the heels. And you can continue moving the legs side to side. And just start to notice, where do you feel this? Like right now I can feel it's kind of on the outside of my hip, but maybe you're feeling it on the inside. Maybe it's going all the way into your glutes. And go ahead and come to a stop. Bring the soles of the feet together. Coming into your butterfly pose. Sitting up really nice and tall as you grab onto the ankles, extending through the top of the head. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, hinge forward, flat back. One more breath here. On your exhale, move back up. Grabbing the outside of the knees, bring the knees together. Extend the legs, shake them out. All right, so we're gonna kick the knees to the side, come up onto hands and knees. So we want the hands right underneath the shoulders, knees under hips. And again, if you were here last week, I mentioned when we come to hands and knees, we wanna try and rotate that upper arm so that these little creases of your elbows face forward. So your hands should be facing forward, and then we rotate the elbows, rotate the upper arms. And that just gives us a little more space in through the shoulder blades. And this is the same arm position you want to have when you go into your down dog. You want to keep that rotation in the upper arms. All right, so from here, let's do a little cat-cow. Drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. And as you exhale, push down into the floor, rounding the spine. Inhale, drop it down. And exhale, round. One more time, nice and slow. And exhale. Coming back to your neutral spine, we want to hug the abdominal muscles in. From here, we're going to extend your right leg back. We're going to bring the knee into the chest. The nose comes towards the knee. Inhale, kick it back. And then you're going to cross the foot behind you So from the back, it looks like this. And then you're gonna turn your head to look back at your toes. So turn around your left shoulder, look back at your toes. And bring it back around. Lift the leg, bring the knee into the chest. And extend it all the way back. And then cross it behind you. Again, look back around your left shoulder. Take a breath in. On your exhale, pick up the leg and come back to all fours. Let's try the other side. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, bring it into the chest. Nose comes towards the knee. Inhale, lift that. Exhale, cross it behind. This time, peek around your right shoulder. Look back at your toes. Breathe. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, cross it behind. Peek back at your toes. And pick up the leg and bring it in, coming back to all fours. Let's go ahead and take a cat-cow here. And come back to your neutral spine. From here, we're going to come into a modified side plank. So you're going to kick your left leg or your left foot off of your mat. Your right leg is going to go straight back. Plant the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Right arm reaches up, and then that back leg will rotate. So you're coming to the inside edge of your right foot. Now here, it's tempting to kind of like do this kind of thing where your head is hanging, but what we want to try and find is some length in the spine. So almost like there's a little string pulling you from the top of your head, pulling from your tailbone. So nice long line, arms are in a T. Maybe you need to rotate those ribs around a little bit. Breathe. Maybe if you like to, you could try lifting the back leg if you want to try your balance. Hugging in the abdominals, or another version would be to stack the feet into a side plank. You get to decide how extreme you want to go today. One more breath here, and then go ahead and come back down with the foot on the back edge of your mat. Reach the arm overhead. Now we're going to reach the rib cage up for the sky. So this bicep comes next to the ear, and we're creating like this arc from the hand all the way down to the foot. And then go ahead and come back to all fours, and let's do the other side. So your right foot kicks off your mat, your left foot goes straight back. Plant the right hand right underneath the shoulder, left arm reaches up. Again here, see if you can find some length, some extension through the spine. Reaching that left arm up towards the sky like you're going to touch the wall. Maybe that foot lifts, or maybe you stack the feet. Totally up to you. Couple of breaths here. And lower the foot back down. Now we'll reach the arm up overhead, create that arc. Reach the rib cage for the sky. Couple of breaths here. And gently, carefully come back to all fours. From here, we're gonna walk the hands forward so that we can come into a modified plank. And let's do a circle. So we're gonna circle around to the right, kind of lean into that right hip, around to the back like child's pose, over to the left and forward again. So moving in a nice slow circle, and we're breathing. And just maybe you close the eyes here and just kind of feel into the body. This is one of my favorite ways to move because it just kind of hits everything. And then let's switch directions. Moving our circle in the opposite direction. And then let's meet back in our modified plank. From here, we're going to chaturanga, lower the heart down in between the hands. I'm going to come this way. So from here, we're going to take your hands a little wider, and you're going to come up onto the tips of the fingers. Hopefully, you guys can see what I'm doing. So the shoulder blades are going to squeeze together. The hands are right underneath the elbows. And we're just going to gently push down into the tops of the fingers, push down into the tops of the feet as we start to lift the upper body. So it's just like a cobra, pushing down into the fingers. And we're not really lifting up here. It's really more of just an upper back lift. And roll it down. Bring your hands behind, interlace the hands, or just see if they can get close. And then again, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift up. It's weird watching this from the side. We're here. Breathe. And roll it down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself up and back, child's pose. Now again, if your forehead doesn't come quite to the mat, go ahead and stack the arms. Rest your forehead on the arms. Couple of breaths here. And then reaching the arms forward one more time, walk the hands over to the right, stack the left hand on top of the right, and reach the heart for the pull. And other side, right hand will stack on top of the left. And come back to the center. You can either stay here in child's pose or make your way into down dog. So if you're coming into down dog, you're shifting forward into that modified plank, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Maybe the knees stay nice and bent. We're lifting through the hips, like the hips are gonna reach for the sky. The hands are pushing away from you. So they're pushing the floor away. See if you can find that rotation in the upper arm again. The neck is relaxed. The gaze towards the space between your feet. And then slowly we can start to pedal the feet. So we're getting that nice stretch through the back of the legs. And then we'll start to walk up to the hands. Come into a forward fold. Knees are nice and bent. Upper body hangs. Relax the head, the neck. Relax the face. Let's shake the head no a few times. Getting rid of any tension that might be hiding out in there. And nod the head yes. A few times. And then we're going to slowly roll up, really, really slow. So keep the knees bent. And we'll slowly, slowly start to come all the way up. The head is the very last thing. And coming all the way up into your mountain pose. Relax the shoulders down. Turning the palms forward. And feet are parallel, toes facing forward, nice bend, soft knees. Reaching up through the crown of the head. Take a moment here. Find your present moment again. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands into heart. Inhale, arms go up overhead. This time we're going to interlace the fingers except for those pointer fingers. So we have a little pointy hands. And we're going to inhale, reach up nice and tall as you can get. And exhale, hinge to one side. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, other side. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, float the arms down. Let's take a nice wide stance and we're going to do my favorite hip rolls. So nice bend in the knees, relax the shoulders, and we're going to move through the pelvis. So we're just moving the hips around in a circle, keeping the knees nice and bent. And then let's go the opposite direction. And coming to a stop, we'll come up to the top of your mat. So coming to the top of your mat, feet are hip width distance apart. We're gonna inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold from the waist all the way down. Let's do a halfway lift. Inhale, flat back, gazes forward, and exhale down. From here, we're gonna plant the hands, step back with your right foot, and drop the knee. Now, you can leave the toes tucked or untucked, totally up to you. From here, we're gonna rise up into our low lunge. And instead of kind of like dumping into this hip, we wanna actually push down through this left foot to kind of give us a little bit of action where we're almost squeezing the inner thighs together, reaching up nice and tall. Breathe, relax the shoulder blades. And we want to have the hands so that the pinkies are turned forward. And float the arms down. From here, we're going to shift the weight onto the back leg, straightening the front leg or get it almost straight, lift the toes. And then we're going to start to bring the chest towards the leg. Now, if you're kind of like in this kind of rounded thing, see if you can push the tailbone back so that you come into more of a flat back. And sometimes that might mean you're up here, or maybe if you have blocks or some books or something to kind of help you if this is really challenging for you. We're just gonna hang here and breathe for a sec. And then we're gonna go ahead and bend that front knee. Place the right hand down on the inside of the foot. Reach the left arm up, a little twisted lunge here. And you can keep the back toes on the mat, or you can tuck the toes, lift the knee. Low lunge. And then drop the knee, lower the arm. We're gonna bring this front knee back to plank. Plank can be knees down or knees up, totally up to you. What we wanna remember here is to have the abdominals engaged, reaching through the crown of the head, pushing down into the hands, and lower down, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. And take a couple deep cleansing breaths here, pushing the hands into the floor. I assume you guys can hear my dog snoring away. He's very relaxed. Maybe we'll be there by the end of our class. And go ahead and walk our feet up to the hands. Forward fold. Inhale halfway. And exhale down. Bend the knees, send the arms wide, come all the way up. And then we're gonna come into our chair pose. So we're gonna bend the knees, sink the tailbone straight down, sit back in your chair. So we wanna have the weight kind of shifted into the heels, the arms reaching forward. And if this is too intense on your low back, bring the hands right into prayer. At the heart. Knees are parallel. And then from here, go ahead and fold forward. Inhale, flat back. And exhale down. Bend the knees, swing the arms forward, come back to your chair pose. For 2 breaths. And then push down into the feet, lift all the way up. And hands come into heart. Take a pause here, find your breath. Building a little heat in the body this morning. Let's try the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we're gonna fold at the waist all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale down. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back with the left foot this time. Drop the knee. So again, check in and make sure your knee is right over the ankle. And then we sweep the arms forward and up. Come into your low lunge. So remember, we want to push down into that right foot so that we're not in this kind of low back, dumpy place. We want to have some integrity here. So if this, you can imagine the left thigh moving forward, the right thigh moving back. Hips are square. On your next exhale, go ahead and float the hands down to the floor. Shift onto the back leg, straightening the front leg, lift the toes. And again here, if you're in this kind of rounded upper back state, see if you can find a way to push the tailbone back, reach the nose past the toes, flat back. A couple of breaths here. This one can be a little intense, so we have to breathe. And then we're going to go ahead and bend the knee. Place the foot back down on the floor. Left hand comes to the floor, right arm reaches up, twist. And you can stay here or you can tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Totally up to you. Take it at your own pace. And then float the arm down. You can drop the knee if you like, or step straight back into your plank. We want the wrists right underneath the shoulders, crown of the head reaches forward. So your gaze is like a foot or two on the floor in front of you. And chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades, heart comes forward. Breathe. As you exhale, push yourself back to either child's pose or downward facing dog. Lifting through the hips. Belly comes towards the thighs. Couple of breaths here. And come towards your hands, forward fold. Let the head hang. Inhale halfway, hands can come to the thighs or the shins, flat back gaze forward. And exhale, roll back down. Bend the knees, send the arms wide, come all the way up. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart. We're going to do our chair pose again. So inhaling, arms up overhead. Make sure the feet are about hip width distance apart, toes facing forward. Bending the knees. And then sink the tailbone back. Reaching the arms up overhead. Again, you could bring the hands into the heart if that feels better. Breathe. And float it down. Release the head. Let's do a halfway lift. And down. From here, bend the knees. Swing the arms forward. Come back into your chair. Breathe. One more breath. Push down into the feet. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands into heart. Take a pause here as you recover. And then we'll come to face the long side of your mat. We're going to take a nice wide stance. We want our toes to face the top corners of the mat. And we're going to come into goddess pose or just like a plie. And so what we want to remember as we do this, just to keep our knees safe, is to see if you can have your knees kind of follow the same track as your toes as you bend. And then the other thing is sometimes it's tempting to do this where we kind of like scoot our butt back. But what we really want to do is try and keep this all kind of going straight down. So it's, if you've ever taken a ballet, it's like a lifting from here, sinking straight down, and coming back up, okay? So that's the movement we wanna do. So if you're here, it doesn't have to be crazy wide, but just a comfortable stance. Inhale, arms up overhead. And as you exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, float it down. Let's do that 2 more times. Moving at your own pace. And exhale, sink down and hold. Check in with your knees. They're coming forward. See if you can scoot them back. And then we're gonna bring the hands onto the knees. You wanna get the kind of butt of the hand into the legs and push down so that you can kind of straighten your arms and rest your upper body on the low body. And then we're going to twist the left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. and other side. And coming back to center, now we're gonna reach for the floor. We're gonna turn the toes to face forward and come into a wide leg forward fold. We're letting the top of the head sink down to the floor. Knees can be straight or bent, up to you. And we're going to walk both hands over to the left foot, bend the left knee, keep that right leg straight. And then let's go to the other side. And back and forth a few times. Maybe you move with your breath. And end up over at your right foot. Turn the right toes towards the top or back of your mat. And now we want to check in that this right heel kind of dissects your back arch, so your left arch. And then we're going to spin all the way up into warrior two. So come all the way up, warrior two. So a couple of alignment cues here. This right knee should be tracking with the middle toes, and you're grounded into the pinky edge of your back foot. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, and we're extending through the fingertips like you're going to touch both walls. Sink down into the hips. Let's reach the arms up overhead, straighten the front leg, and exhale back down. Inhale, reach up, and exhale down. Two more. Flow in with your breath. And back to your warrior two. From here, we're going to reverse warrior. Left hand comes to the leg, right palm flips up and over, reach up and back. And back to warrior two. From here, we're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to shift the hips that way. So it's like a this kind of thing. And then the upper body is going to reach as far as it can go the other way. And then the hand comes down onto the leg or the floor. And remember here, we're rotating that heart forward. Breathe. And then we're going to bend the right knee, bring the left hand down, walk yourself back to center, back to our wide leg forward fold. Let the head hang, let the arms hang. Walk the hands over to the left foot, bend the left knee, turn the left toes towards the top of your mat. So again, check in. Does this left heel aligned with the back arch? And then cartwheel the arms, come up into your warrior two. So again, check in. Left toes facing the top of the mat, knees tracking with the toes, grounding into the pinky edge of the back foot. Relax the shoulders, reach through the fingers, lift through the top of the head, but sink down into the hips. Lots going on in this pose. Inhale, reach the arms, straighten the leg. Exhale, float it down. Inhale up. So just enjoy this kind of flowing with your breath. One more time. Otis. It's getting real loud. All right, let's go ahead and move into our warrior or reverse warrior. Drop the back hand, flip the front hand, reach up as high as it will go, then reach back. Breathe. And back to warrior two. From here, we're coming into our triangle pose, so we're going to straighten that front leg, shift the hips back as far as they'll go, and then the front of the body reaches, and then comes to the shin or the floor. And we're not letting the head hang here either, reaching through the top of the head. So we've got a long line from the top of the head all the way down to the tailbone. One more breath here. Bend the knee, bring the arm down, walk yourself back to center. From here, we're going to let the left hand come down kind of right in the center of the chest. The right arm's going to sweep up to the sky, rotated pyramid pose. Reaching through the top of the head. Again, don't let the head hang here. And float the right hand down, other side. Reach. Extending through the tailbone, through the top of the head. And float it down. Walking the hands back so that we can start to roll up nice and slow. And then we'll heel toe or hop the feet back together. Find your mountain pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Come back, slowing down the breath, slowing down the heartbeat. And coming back to the top of your mat. Sweep the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale down. Stepping back to downward facing dog. And go ahead and bend the knees, coming onto all fours. And then all the way down to the belly. So we're going to have the hands right underneath the shoulders. We're going to do a little twist on our belly right now. So you're going to reach your right arm out away from you. So it's in line with your shoulder. You're going to have your right cheek on the mat. Your right ear, right cheek on the mat. You're going to push into your left hand, roll to the right, pick up let's see, what knee is that? The top knee, the left knee, bend the knee, and maybe the foot finds the floor behind you. Maybe it's kind of dangling, that's okay too. And we're pushing into that left hand to deepen the stretch, if you want to. It's not a requirement. One more breath here. And roll onto the belly. Bring the forehead or chin to the mat. The right hand comes in. Now we're going to do the other side. I don't have enough room to do that where I am, so I'm going to switch positions. So now we're going to, oh, I don't have room there either because of my cutie dog. All right, let's try this way. Left hand reaches out, left ear to the mat. Right hand is under the shoulder, rolling to the left. Pick up that left foot, reach behind you, and breathe. Leave your head down on your mat. One more breath here. And roll back onto the belly. Bring that hand in and make your way back to child's pose. Couple of deep cleansing breaths here in your child's pose. And then for our final pose today, we're going to do some reclined pigeon. Because I have a wall accessible to me today, I'm going to show you how to do it both with the wall and just on your back. So you'll come onto your back, and you're welcome to use the wall as well. So you'll come onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, and you'll cross the one ankle over the other knee. It doesn't matter which way you start. And then hug the knees in. Maybe you interlace the hands behind the knee. So that's the way to do it on your back. If you wanted to do it on the wall, scoot your hip up as close to the wall as you can, and then roll to your back. And then here, you're doing the same thing, crossing the ankle over the knee, and then this leg can slide down the wall till you find your edge. So your edge is basically that place between discomfort and pain, right? So we don't want to be in pain, but a little discomfort's okay as we're stretching out something that may be very tight. Now, if your butt is lifting up off the floor, you come too deep, so you'll go ahead and slide that foot back up to decrease the intensity of the stretch. So either way you do it is perfectly fine. I just like to offer options because sometimes the one on your back is not accessible for everyone. Um, so make sure that you're doing your deep breathing here as well. Relax your shoulders, relax your back down into the floor. Soften the face, soften the jaw. Slowing down the breath. Maybe you use that ujjayi breath here, if you're familiar with ujjayi, where you kind of constrict the back of your throat. So it's that same type of breath if you were fogging up a mirror or a window. And these deep, deep cleansing breaths help us to access the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest nervous system. So this is the opposite of fight or flight. So if you're in a highly stressed out, anxious state, these type of breathing exercises can really help to switch off the fight or flight and switch on the rest part of the nervous system. And this is the nervous system we need to be accessing more and more throughout the day, because this is how our body heals and how we stay calm, because we all know that stress is not great for our bodies. Let's take one more deep cleansing breath here. And go ahead and uncross the legs. And we're going to switch sides now. So if you're on your back, you'll just, or I'm sorry, against the wall, switch the cross of the legs and bring the knee into the chest. And then we're breathing again, remembering to find that edge. And feeling the spine really release down into the floor. It's tempting here to kind of stay in this like pose so you can reach everything, but this is just really stressing out the back and the neck. So if you can't do this pose without straining, that's where you would want to come to the wall. The wall is going to do most of the work for you so your back can just rest. So up to you, either way. We're breathing, breathing, breathing. And we're just taking a moment to notice. Maybe this hip is a little tighter than the other. Maybe there's something going on with the knee here. I'm just kind of noticing how our body is working today. And being grateful for our bodies, even if they're not where we want them to be right now. You're still able to move and come to yoga. Maybe using that ujjayi breath to slow yourself down even more. And we'll take 2 more deep cleansing breaths here. And go ahead and bring both feet back down to the floor and just notice. And so from here, we're going to make our way into our final pose, Shavasana. This is your final resting pose. You're welcome to cover up with a blanket or put a sweatshirt, socks, whatever you like on to make yourself nice and warm and cozy. And we'll just do a short relaxation to end our practice today. So settling in, taking a few deep cleansing breaths. Letting the body really sink down into the floor. And the practice of yoga allows us to come back to our bodies. We get busy and we have a lot going on. It's easy to become disconnected or get caught in the swirl of the mind. Our mind is telling, I think there's between 60 and 80,000 thoughts every day. All of the conversations we've had in the past or the things we have to do in the future, and it's just overwhelming. And so this is your opportunity to access a space of stillness. So that when we go back into the world, we're carrying a little more peace inside of us so that we can be our kindest selves, our highest selves. So let's take a long, slow, deep breath in and gently let that go. And in this moment where there's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, allow your shoulders to soften, your jaw to unclench. Allow your body to melt just for this moment. Witnessing the breath as it comes in and as it flows out. Feeling yourself soften. Feeling your mind relax. And taking a few more deep cleansing breaths. Feeling the breath fill the spaces of the body, as if you could breathe all the way down to your toes, to the top of the head, and out to the fingertips. And if there's any remaining tension in the body or tension in the mind, send it out with the exhale. And from this place of stillness, we'll let the breath begin to inspire some movement in the toes and fingers, the wrists, and the ankles. Maybe the arms reach up overhead, reaching for the wall behind you, stretching the body. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, the arms move back down and you make your way on to your side. Just pausing for a moment. So we're getting ready to go back to our day. We're taking with us anything that was helpful from our practice today, leaving the rest behind. And as you're ready, making your way back up to seated, nice and slow. And we'll close our class today, drawing the hands together at the heart and taking a deep breath in and letting it go. And as your mind gets active with worry, remembering to come back to the breath, into the present moment. Namaste.